gunslinger and director of live feed on Happy Hour.
I'm your elderberry.
I'm tired of you trying to get in on the claims, Drifter.
Well, all I was asking was that you pledge as little as $1 a month at patreon.com/It's New Orleans Happy Hour. There's all kinds of exclusive content to boot.
The hell are you talking
It's
about?
just $1 per year for every bullet hole I'm about to put in.
I'm gonna give you two the kind of...
Just need one. Showtime.
It's Happy Hour again from Uptown New Orleans. Hello, I'm Grant Morris. Happy Hour is part of the family of shows on the podcast network. It's neworleans.com. When you walk into a bar in New Orleans and you pull up a bar stool, you never know who's going to be sitting on either side of you. What you do know is no matter what they look like, what they're wearing, whether they just got out of a limousine or just got out of jail, they're going to be happy to talk to you because that's New Orleans and this is Happy Hour. What is it?
A random conversation.
No,
a conversation.
A cocktail-fueled.
Ooh, nice. There it is.
A cocktail-fueled 60 minutes of random
That's
conversation
the one.
with folks who have nothing in common. Other than we're all New Orleanians in a bar. Today we're at the fabulous Wayfare on Ferret Street, which is a couple of blocks down from Napoleon Avenue in Uptown, and they have a 4-hour happy hour here every single day of the week, Monday to Friday, and a brunch on the weekends, and they have a whole bunch of new drinks as well, but no one actually told me what they're called.
You say that whole thing in your sleep, don't you? Like in your dreams.
I did,
you say
and then
that.
I just suddenly looked up and I couldn't remember where I was.
You got lost in my eyes. or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. You put me. This is Andrew Duhon we're talking to. He's back after a long absence of a month or so.
Yep.
On the West Coast.
Got out of town for a while.
I kept up with
Had
you on
to lay low.
Facebook. I see you were playing music, which I didn't realize you were a musician. So that's awesome.
There's a lot about me you don't know, Grant.
Well, apparently.
Yeah.
How did it go, this West Coast tour? It
Honestly,
looked great.
My thriving self-doubt even cannot deny that it went quite well.
Wow,
It was
okay.
good, yeah. So
Quite well.
quite well.
All right. That's as much as we can get out of you.
Yeah, yeah.
Looks like it was sold out and people showed up and
There were
loved
some
it.
sold out shows. Yeah, all the aunts and uncles came out and packed the room. So
Wow.
yeah.
There you go. So welcome back. Good to see you back, actually.
Yeah, it's
We
good to
missed
be
you.
back, dude.
Hey, today's Happy Hour is brought to us by Basics on Magazine Street near Jefferson Avenue, where they sell fine lingerie and swim and gym clothes, a full range of fashion swimsuits, workout, and yoga clothes. Also, Hangover Destroyer, which is the only all-natural product medically proven to prevent a hangover. And the Positive Vibrations Foundation, who create and encourage community through the development and preservation of the arts, music, culture, and heritage. And that's what we're talking about today. It's Cajun Day here on Happy Hour. It's our special, once every 10 years we do a Cajun Day show, and this is it.
Wow.
So Andrew Duhon's name is
Doo
actually
Yong.
pronounced Doo Yong.
That's
if
right.
you get sort of a few miles west of here. How far west do you have to go before it's Doo Yong?
I would imagine it starts in that bridge to get to Delcom. So the Delcom Bridge is probably where. What do you think,
What do you
Louis?
think?
Where do you
Louis
think it
Michot
happens?
is
I
here.
wasn't sure if it started like 5 miles west of here or not. But
So
I don't
Louis,
know.
Louis Michot is the real Cajun from Arnaudville,
Well, I live in Arnaudville, near Arnaudville. I'm from Lafayette, Broussard.
from Broussard.
Yes, sir.
You don't hear many people say that around here in New Orleans from Broussard.
Well, it's got enveloped by Lafayette, but we grew up in the middle, which is called Pilet, between Lafayette and Broussard.
Really? It was called the Middle?
Well, it's a little town that got, enveloped by both of them, but
Right.
it's still on some maps,
Right. And if you're wondering who Louis is, he's the lead singer and violin player, or fiddle player, I suppose we say. Do we say fiddle?
Fiddle.
Violin sounds too pretentious.
It means you read the music. We make it up.
Oh, okay. And a band called the Lost Bayou Ramblers, who are, how would you describe Lost Bayou Ramblers? Someone described them to me as the flogging molly of Cajun music.
Yeah, people have definitely made a lot of interesting comparisons. We're definitely a Cajun band. We do all kind of fun and crazy things, but we're definitely a Cajun band.
You definitely are a Cajun band. But there's a lot of sort of psychedelia, rock, and punk, or whatever the hell else.
Yeah,
It's
we're,
very interesting what you've managed to achieve. I don't know whether did you set out to achieve that, or did it just happen?
it just happened. It just
You're
happened.
just an actual, real crossover band.
Yeah, it's just what comes naturally after you play for a while. Like we started very traditional, and then, once we got comfortable with our own sound and such, and then more different band members started coming and going with their own influences, and we welcome it. We
Oh,
went
I
our
thought it
own-
was all came from you and Andre.
Well,
I thought you were came up
We-
with this concept. Of,
no, we just sit there and play fiddle and accordion. All these people around us do all these fun things, and we encourage them.
Well, you're almost as self-effacing as Andrew. I guess is that a Cajun trait?
Yeah, definitely.
Hey,
Self-deprecation.
our music producer.
Cajun Catholic, the worst kind. You know?
Uh-huh.
Okay, moving around the Cajun table, Lizzie Guitreau is here as well. Now,
Hey, y'all.
how Cajun is that?
Cajun enough, I would say.
Where are you from originally?
So I'm from Baton Rouge. It's not very
is that-
Cajun, is it?
I don't
Doesn't sound
know.
very Cajun.
Well, it's French.
It is French. Yeah, you're
Doesn't
right.
get much more French than Baton Rouge. They're both French. Those
I mean,
words.
Pilette.
Broussard.
French.
Broussard. Well, Broussard
Yeah,
isn't
well,
French.
I mean, Guitreau is more Cajun than Michot. But
Is
if
it?
you want to talk like blood and stuff, I mean, we're
Yeah.
Creole, Haitian, French, whatever. But anyway,
Well, what sort
Get into the-
of Cajun is Michot? Is that like
it's French, Creole, like French.
French Cajun?
But we have a little Broussard.
Okay.
And like Doo Yong, Doo Hon, that's Cajun.
Right.
Acadian, we should say.
Acadian,
Oh, okay.
You know,
okay,
that's
okay.
the thing, the other distinctions. You
So
know.
what's Guitreau, Lizzie? What's your parents' situation?
Guitreaux are Civil War deserters, allegedly.
What-
That's all I know
What
about
does
the
that
Guitreau
mean,
line.
Civil War deserter?
So,
Someone who likes dessert and they were in the Civil War?
yeah, the people that brought the sweets to the Civil War.
Hey, okay, that's pretty cool. Someone had to do the
Silver
catering. Of
lining.
you never think about who did the catering for the Civil War.
Yeah.
The Guitreaux did,
What is-
actually. They
yeah.
made dirty rice and...
What is Guitreau?
What is Guitreau?
I mean, what do you mean
really
Civil
don't
War
know. There's
deserter?
not a lot of
It's not
to be
Acadian?
said about it in the history. Actually, I found out I'm actually a quarter Swiss recently, which really threw me for a loop and made my world a little unsteady. So I'm still processing that. I can process that
You
here, I
don't
guess.
like the Swiss.
I love the Swiss. I have no, it just, I've always been told
You
I
were
was just
surprised.
Cajun or French and nothing else. And I guess we really don't know until
Until you do 23andMe for Christmas.
the documents come up.
How did
know.
did you do that 23andMe thing?
One of my aunts tracked it down through like immigrant records and stuff like that.
I see you haven't actually seen this in a DNA test.
I don't want to give my DNA to someone. I'm also
You don't
a
trust
big
that?
no.
You don't want to
I
snitch
don't
on your
trust it.
family if they commit
I'm
a
afraid
crime.
to know. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
'Cause that's
So
the
this
thing.
Swiss thing isn't necessarily true. I wouldn't believe that. What
You
do you
wouldn't
think? No. Were you buying that?
I'm kind of pale though.
Yeah.
Doesn't it fit? Look at me. I look
Pale.
Swiss. This Facebook thing, I look Swiss.
Very Swiss.
Do you think so?
Thanks, Lou.
Okay. All right. And Brandon Beeyard is here. Brandon, what's your nationality?
Well, that's fun because the way I spelled my name when I gave it to you is kind of a lie. I made it phonetic. My name
What?
is Super Cajun. It's Beeyard is how it's pronounced,
Are
but it's
you
not
fucking
spelled.
kidding?
If you look at it, you're like Bulliard, Bulliard.
yeah.
Okay.
It's been a torture my whole life because I lived in Florida for a long time, so I just made it phonetic. So
Well, finally,
This
you've
is fate
come
that I'm
home
here
to
today.
your own friend.
Yeah,
So this
yeah.
is total Cajun tea.
Yes.
So how do you spell it? B-U-I-L-L?
Bulliard.
B-U-L-L-I-A-R-D. And that's pronounced Beeyard?
Beeyard.
Are y'all from Evangeline Parish or
St Martinville.
St. Martin?
Right outside New Iberia.
That's what it is. I knew it rang a bell. All right. We'll talk.
Okay.
All right.
So I'm the only person here who's not Cajun.
Yeah.
How about
because
that?
some of my wife's best friends were Beeyards from St. Martinville, but moved to Ville Platte. That's why it's Evangeline Parish.
I got family there too.
The
so we're
Lemoynes?
probably
Okay.
that's my family.
So you guys are actually
really weird.
related.
We're
Small
related.
world.
Okay,
It's
how long
bizarre.
has it taken? 8 minutes.
8 minutes.
And we've made a connection. So what's your wife is a
She's
related
from
to-
Ville Platte, and her best
Home
friend
of-
growing up was a Lemoyne, whose parents were Beeyards from St. Martinville.
Okay.
We're all related somehow.
Now how did you get out of St. Martinville?
I grew up in New Orleans actually. I did not grow up. My family's from St. Martinville. I grew up here.
Do they still spell their name B-U-L-L-I-A-R-D?
Yeah, unfortunately.
So you just do this because for the sort of your stage name.
Yeah, so I'm also a podcaster, and so
I
I made
know.
my stage name. I didn't want to inflict the Beeyard conundrum on the world, so I changed the spelling of it.
Okay. Now
Yeah.
Lizzie is the chief of production at Worklight Pictures, which makes movies.
That's true.
And you're the president and CEO of Dreamster Media.
That's a huge empire, huge company, Dreamster Media.
Well, Worklight Pictures has only got a couple of people on their website.
I'm also the CEO.
Oh, awesome. Well, we'll talk.
Hi, you guys both here. So
Another connection.
We run the
So
world.
Dreamster Media is your own company in which you're setting out. This is the most meta thing I've ever seen in my life. You're setting out to be a media superstar
Sure.
and making a series of podcasts about trying to become a media superstar.
Correct. You're right. It is very meta. It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the shows I just kind of tell my story in the hopes that it inspires other people to do their dream if it's that or something else, because I always knew what I wanted to do and I started to do it. but then just for a lot of reasons, I turned away from it, and now.
What were the reasons?
When you do something different, when you want to go into media or do something creative, a lot of times your family doesn't quite get it, your friends might not get it. So cultural norms, they just don't get it. They want you to have like a traditional career.
You were swayed by your friends and family.
Not at first, but then, you after time, you kind of let those things seep in, and it creates this whole internal monologue. So,
but everybody here at this table has somehow defeated that.
Yeah, well, that's...
No?
Just constantly grappling.
There you go. That's it. Yeah.
Do you still think you have to sort of give up being a musician and go back to working at the post office or something?
I don't know if it's that. I just think that the goblins of self doubt and self edit are always there, and you wonder, what of it is important for people to see, and what of it is just unpolished and belongs at the floor of your workshop.
Do you have this problem, Louis, of self-doubt when you create stuff?
Oh, of course, yeah. That's the artist's, MO is first doubt and then eventually you realize that you shouldn't, and that you shouldn't censor yourself and just go straight through. But yeah, I mean, as Cajun Catholics especially,
So that's a Cajun Catholic thing.
Oh, it's heavy.
Yeah.
So how can you describe? So you have the same thing. Are you Catholic as well, Brandon?
The Beeyards are Catholic. I'm not.
So you've left everything behind.
I
Cajunism,
love
Catholicism.
Yeah.
I am
Smoked meat.
I am post-Catholic, by the way.
Post.
That's a good way to put it.
So you guys are.
I mean, I still pray to Mary, but I don't go to church.
Well, if it helps. But you're Cajun Catholic when it comes to your personality.
Well, it's just you just have no
can't
choice.
escape
At a
that.
certain point, you have no choice. You can't
Right.
run away as far as you can, but
The brand only heals so much, It's still branded on you,
You can't. You're
It's
going to
still
be
there.
a Cajun Catholic no matter what happens to
lift
you.
up your shirt.
Yeah,
It's right
it's
there.
there. It's there. Yeah.
Well, how Swiss are you then, Lizzie? Do you have this Cajun Catholic guilt?
Oh, luckily I wasn't raised Catholic.
Good for
so
you.
Luckily.
I'm free.
What
That's
were you
great.
raised as?
I guess just niceties.
Nice.
Just be nice.
No religion.
Well, my
very Swiss.
family's religious, and maybe that's what makes me like a nice, smiley person. But now I think I'm more of just like a do what you do to enjoy it and don't think too much about it, which is really hard.
Amen.
Really hard.
It's really hard to be nice and not think about it.
Yeah.
What's your sort of default?
What do you mean? When I'm not being
personality?
nice?
Yeah, you're
Well,
mostly
it's-
just mean and nasty and
You
selfish.
said I'm allowed to curse, right? I can be kind of a bitch in my head, but I feel like I'm really nice on the outside, which is
So you're
maybe
actually
that's part of being
thinking.
Cajun.
Yeah.
You're thinking Andrew Duhon's an asshole, but you're smiling at him. Is that what you're saying? I don't mean to put words in
Andrew
your mouth.
Duhon, you seem just fine. In
Doo
fact, I
Yong,
think-
Doo Yong, please.
Doo Yong.
Today.
Excuse me.
Oh, so okay. So everyone else mispronounced your name.
No, I do it too. I mean,
Okay.
I find it's necessary to make sure people can Google after the show. You gotta.
Right. Well, this is how we got Beeyard
Yeah.
Right.
and
Yeah.
Duhon and Michot. That's a very difficult name. If you know.
Guitreau. Is it
Michot.
Guitreau?
Guitreau.
Oh, yeah.
Guitreau.
I mean,
So
I
was-
get Gotro more
yeah,
than anything.
Right.
Guitreaus and Guitreau.
Yeah.
And what do you get? My shot or something?
Yeah, all kind of things.
Michot.
Yeah.
We had but actually I had a dog at one point, not related to Andrew, but we called him Doo Hon because he was from Port Arthur, Texas. I was gonna say when you cross that line, it goes back to Doo Hon too.
Yeah, that's right.
His name was
Okay.
Clint Duhon, and he was
The dog's name was Clint Duhon.
Yeah, amazing country singer actually.
That's great. So it's only Doo Yong for like 100 miles.
Yeah, or well,
That's interesting.
Well, and then you can go up to
I was
Katie
gonna say,
Ann, I
was gonna
suppose.
say, okay, Akadi.
Akadi.
Yeah, right. That's what you're saying.
Oh, in Canada itself? you
yeah,
mean?
on there, all over.
Oh, then
there.
you're back to Doo Yong.
That's right. But if you go to France, I believe it's Doo Hon.
Duhon.
Right.
Duhon.
Yeah, because H is not Y in real French. H is not pronounced.
Doo Yong.
Right.
No, okay,
No.
yeah, well, that's
Or
that.
savoir,
Cajun,
like we say
Cajun
savoir.
French has more of the rolled tongue, a lot of Spanish inflections, and yeah, and French has more guttural.
Right. Well, people say, is this true, actually, Louis, that Cajun French is actually like French that's stuck in the 14th century or something?
Yeah, it's like
Never evolved.
16th and 17th century French mixed with Spanish, English, native, all
So
kind
you
of
have more
African.
you have more in relationship with like someone like from maybe Joan of Arc than you do.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, yeah, for sure.
So the Canadian French is that changed?
Yeah, they've standardized in their own way, but I mean, they're all a similar, theirs was more, it has been more accepted and, standardized, should I say, in the last 100 years, where ours has been completely oral.
Okay.
Theirs is taught in the school, but they also have like Chiac, which is English and French, and like Quebecois, but theirs is all similarly based on the original French that they came over with.
Right.
But it's probably updated more. Quebec is more in line with modern French. I mean, they have obviously their own hardcore dialect, but they've also modernized a bit.
Are you connected? Do you feel culturally connected to people in Canada, the Acadian people in Canada?
Yeah. I mean, I learned, how to really speak French in Nova Scotia, and it's all the people with the same names. And so like the Sauniers, the Gilbots, the on, to Boudreaux and Thibodeaux, and with no X. And, so it's like the same people minus all the other Louisiana influences, the African, German,
Right.
Spanish, Irish, and
what's the
everything.
food like? Is any of that?
Oh, well, yeah, that's the whole thing. It's like if you took a Louisiana Cajun, you removed all the Louisiana from it,
Including the crawfish.
you're left with
and-
like bread or dough with just salt or some lobster. No.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
But they still have the same sort of music?
No, well
That's different too?
Yeah, well, I mean, because our music got influenced by everything in Louisiana as well, so they didn't get all that. But they honestly have a more Celtic style music.
There's a lot of Celtic stuff in your music, I think, too.
Well, that might be it.
Do you think there is?
Not really, but I mean,
No.
I don't disagree.
Okay.
But I wouldn't say that. But
I was listening to your new stuff, to the stuff that you put out yourself on your own label.
the Michot's Melody Makers or the Stone?
No, the Stone
Yeah.
album. That well, when I say album, it's got 2 songs on it.
Well, well, it's one
One's-
song with
yeah.
2 sides.
Well, one is 45 minutes, the other is 1 minute.
Yeah, well, we had to do the 1 minute one just not to confuse iTunes and Spotify now because they were trying to make it a single. So, so we just
that's-
had like the people clapping on one track.
Well, that's what the 1 minute one. I never got to
Yeah.
that. But the
And the
45-minute one, it's like
Workarounds.
one long track. And it seemed to me to have a lot of Celtic
Well,
sort of
Spider
vibe in it.
Stacy from the Pogues
Okay.
is playing on that, so he brings some of that. But of course, the fiddle. I mean, I love Irish music. I don't play any, but I love to listen to it. And I mean, besides playing with the Pogues stuff with Spider, but it's definitely, the fiddle I think was the main vehicle where the music came from Acadie to Louisiana as well as France, Louisiana. Like the fiddle has kind of been a main transport of the music. The accordion came later
Okay. That was
and
German.
interpreted. Yeah.
Right. So that's a good segue to get the fiddle out and play something.
All right.
Could we have a better?
Yeah.
And there's 2 fiddles.
Are you going to accompany me?
Andrew's going to play as
Man,
well.
all right. So I have to out myself here. I went out to the Black Pot camp this year, and I brought a fiddle that a fella from Cajun country gave me some years back. But I play some guitar, but I don't play fiddle. I don't know how to play it. But I went out to the camp, and there's some crash course lessons, whatnot. Took a couple. Sure enough, I feel like maybe I could learn it somewhere down the line, little something.
it's in the blood.
Just to accompany a jam would be really great. But I'm not there yet by any stretch of the imagination. I haven't shed it at all, so I'm not there. But I'm excited to learn somewhere
Well-
years down the line.
That's great.
How far away are you from playing in public? Like 5 minutes?
No,
I got one right here.
Dude,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad to destroy your fiddle in front of you, but I don't think we should do that. I think we
Okay.
should let the masters
Okay.
show us what
Fair
they
enough.
do.
All right. What do you want to play, Louis? What do you think?
The first song that came to mind just now was Valsa Pop, and it's speaking of the Celtic. Dennis McGee recorded this like in 27 or 28 or 28 or 29, and he is a McGee, but when they asked him what kind of name is McGee, he says French because every McGee he knows speaks French.
Huh.
But no doubt that I think his grandpa or his father even was a Celtic fiddle player. My wife's great grandpa, Red Wilson, was a tugboat captain, drove the Steamboat America, who was a famous steamboat. They raced up for the product and everything. But he was like a Scotch-Irish fiddle player, called dances and all that. So there's definitely got to be that influence. This is something called Valsa Pop. Make of it what you will, but it's a Cajun song, I guess.
All right.
I'm singing too loud.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay.
I wasn't going to sing again.
Have we got the volume under control here?
I don't know.
Colin?
I just turned it all way down.
Was
All right.
I just singing?
No, it's great.
Do you want to do another verse now we've got the volume right?
I'll do it in the next
Do it
one.
later.
Yeah.
Okay. That's deceptively difficult to do that by the look of that fiddle playing, right, Andrew?
Well, yeah. I mean, and it's all that the playing two strings at the same time. They call it double stop or whatever you call it, but like that stuff is just so beautiful, and it has everything that's in the feeling of Cajun country and everything. It's all in there, and it's really nice to hear every time.
How did you learn to play like that? Did you just pick it up?
Well, I did take some lessons when I was real young, but the kind of standard method, and I wasn't really into it. And then I put it down for the guitar. I played guitar from about like 11 years old, and when my brother Andre would be like at football practice or something, I'd go sneak in his room and play his guitar. If you didn't know that yet. And
Is he your older brother?
Yeah, and yeah, exactly. So and then my uncle gave me a guitar, and then anyway, I played stand-up bass with Lafayette Michot for a while, and Triangle.
And that was the family.
Yeah, the family band.
Your dad and
Yep.
his brothers.
Yep, and we're still playing. They've been playing since the early '80s, and then when I turned like 18, 19, when I went up to Nova Scotia to learn French. This is my grandpa's fiddle, and I brought it with me, and I hitchhiked around Canada for a while, and Eastern Canada for a few months after the few-week immersion program, and I learned playing on the streets mainly.
So you started playing the fiddle at 19?
Yeah.
9 like you would have.
Well, I
thought.
did
That's
kind of
good.
start at 9 a little bit, but then I put it down for like 8 years. So
That's amazing. Lizzie, do you play anything in your Cajun background?
I play the ukulele.
You do?
Not enough to play on
You
this
need
show,
good?
though.
Not really? No?
I did play viola for a year, and all I remember is you can't do the chicken wing. I was told that the chicken wing doesn't produce a good sound.
I think I do the chicken wing.
You think you do the chicken wing? I'm gonna watch next time you play.
I do it. I'm gonna write a song called
The buffalo
Chicken
wing. Yeah, the chicken wing.
You need to write a song about.
Let's do it right now.
That's what I'm saying. Like your wife's uncle was a tugboat captain. I was like already thought
there.
about getting.
Yeah,
You can write on the tablecloth.
I mean, you got some stuff there. It doesn't even have to rhyme.
There's a
You just,
lot, yeah.
Yeah, you're so right.
It's gonna work.
She's probably already written a song
works.
about him, so
Yeah.
But Lizzie, you're actually making a movie, making a documentary film about the Lost Bayou Ramblers, is it?
Yeah, we are.
So
and
you
it's-
know more about the Lost Bayou Ramblers than anybody on earth.
And yet I still didn't know all that you just said. I'm like, man, that's interesting. I wish I had my
serious?
camera. There's a lot of things to learn.
there's only so much you can fit in 53 minutes.
That's true. That's true too.
How
yeah.
long have you been making the documentary? Is it
Oh,
finished?
man. It's finished. It's coming out next month at the French Film Festival here in New Orleans.
Nice.
I read that online. It's going to be at the
yeah.
Britannia Theatre on Sunday, February the 17th.
Oh, that's killer.
Come on
So
out.
can we all go?
Yeah, you can all come.
Okay. It's
on.
open to the public.
Yeah. Well,
Let's do that.
Ticketed,
And
but,
it's called,
You know.
how do you pronounce the name of it?
On va continuer means
On va
we will
continuer.
continue.
Yep.
But yeah,
we
we've been-
will continue.
Yeah. because at the time we had already announced we were going to take a hiatus, and everyone was like, "Oh, y'all breaking up? What's the matter?" No, we just want a little break. We've never taken a break in almost 20 years, and just been playing like every weekend, every week, just
But
on
that
and on.
did strike me as extremely perverse that you guys won the Grammy. You actually won a Grammy. What was it for? For best traditional?
Regional Roots.
Yeah, I
Best
mean, it's
Regional
an
Roots
actual
album.
Grammy award.
An
The whole
actual-
country saw you. You're super famous, and everyone says how great this band is, and played live and everything. And then you decided to take a break.
We had already announced we were taking a break before we won.
We got it on camera. I can testify.
Do you have management? Did someone
You're
say
looking
that's
at
you're the manager? Really? Did you
Yeah,
think that was
Andre and I do everything.
okay? Did you think maybe that was a crazy idea to sort of take a break right when you're
That's
at
what we're
the
all
peak
about.
of your?
Crazy ideas.
Okay.
Everyone expects you to like get a real manager and then go
Yeah.
hit the road and then go play the Orpheum or something. But
Yeah.
we're like, we're just gonna stop.
How
And,
about we stop? That sounds good.
and so, how did it work out? Stopping? Was it?
Well, then
Was it a
that's
good
why
m-
we have a documentary called On Va Continuer, because we're gonna keep going. No, we was never a question. We just wanted to take, and of course our break was full of.
Right.
We recorded a score and then we put out a previous score and then we made a new score for the documentary and then we were, so we just need a break. That's all.
So
it
you're just
was.
sick of it all?
But
Well,
the break's
we're not
almost
sick, we're not
over.
sick of it. We just love it and want to keep loving it and
Need a vacation
we
like
have
anybody, I guess.
Plenty of other bands and
Right.
just from live perform because
So are you famous
Yeah.
now from the Grammy? Did it change anything?
not really.
Nothing.
I
So it's a
mean, a
complete-
little bit. I'm not going to say nothing. We have a trophy that's made of metal and
Okay.
granite or something
Right.
like that. But
You did get that.
it's awesome. I mean, it's great.
But-
it came with a watch too. Actually, it was pretty cool.
did.
You get
Somebody's
a watch with it.
Yeah, really nice Italian watch. And my Italian new in-laws had just gotten to town. My wife married a guy from Italy. They just moved
Your
to
wife
America.
married a guy from
Oh,
Italy.
excuse me. My
Plus, it's
sister.
getting real Irish up in here.
I was talking about in-laws. What am I talking about? So my sister. I need another drink. You in?
Have another drink. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get in there.
What is that Negroni bourbon thing you got going?
What are you
Yeah,
drinking?
that
What
sounds
is
nice.
that red drink?
Yeah.
That's a
that-
Boulevardier.
Boulevard, yeah.
God damn it! That's the third person now who's.
Sure, please.
You want another one?
Boulevard, yeah.
How do you know? But did you hear that here, or do you drink that normally?
No, he showed it to me.
Ash is the Boulevardier guy.
I like Negronis. I like bourbon. Best of both worlds.
Okay. Good deal.
But no, so
What?
sorry,
Yes,
just
sorry.
to not say that my wife married an Italian guy. My sister married an Italian guy, and when the Italian family came to America, the Grammy, it took like 3 months to arrive in the mail, and it arrived the day that they were at our house, and it came with an Italian watch, and they're like, oh, sì, molto senti, or whatever they said. Like, oh yeah, nice watch.
So
watch.
who knew that the Grammy came with an Italian watch? That's interesting. I wonder what the connection is there.
Who knows?
Somebody's paying off somebody to.
Hey,
Probably
it's just-
something
they
different
just-
every year.
yeah,
You
they
know,
just
last
make
year
it
was like
fun.
a bag of Smart Pop or something.
Sweet swag.
Six
yeah.
pack of Coke.
So Brandon, what's your idea? What are you trying to achieve? Would you like to win a Grammy? What's the goal?
No, I'll never win a Grammy because I have no musical ability.
Well, what's the goal? You're trying to be famous. You're trying to
Yes.
be like a big
well,
shot.
No, I'm not trying to be famous.
What are you trying to be?
Well, I am trying to build this podcast platform and make a living off of it eventually, because I think.
So
that,
are we. Let's know if that works out.
Well, if you have any tips, I would love to hear
No,
them.
we don't. We're on year 9, actually. Are we?
You're
Is this our 9th year, Andrew?
I
think?
couldn't tell you,
I think
man.
something like that.
Well,
We
the
started-
setup is very professional. This is better
Well,
than what I have.
we bought these on Amazon. These
Okay.
cables and these microphones, and we plug them in, and everyone knows what they're doing. But you're doing this all by yourself.
I am right now. I
But
mean,
how do you make that? Because I've listened to a couple of 3 or 4 of your podcasts actually. What's it called?
Oh, thank you. It's Dreamster Media is the
But what's the
company.
actual
the
thing?
Dreamster podcast is
Just called the. That's good branding.
Yeah, I just keep it consistent.
Okay, so it sounds super professional and slickly
Yeah,
produced.
thank you. Thank you. I just,
Then you're just doing all this at home on your
yeah.
iTunes or whatever.
Most of it, yeah. I do most of it. I write it. I record it. I kind of write what the sound effects are going to be, and I actually have someone in LA that I work with who produces it, puts it all together.
Okay.
But I'll kind of tell him, like, there's a lot going on in my head, so I'm like, I want this sound effect here. I hear this going on, and then he kind of
Nice.
puts it in there. And
So the whole story that I've heard like the first 5 episodes. Are there 5? Are there more than 5?
there's 5 right now. Yep, you're right.
It's very cleverly put together. It's very well written,
Oh,
so
thank
that
you
it's
for
not
listening.
just a chronological spewing out of your life story.
Nobody cares about that.
It's really cleverly like woven together the bits, and it goes back and forward. And then you go forward, you're going to find out about how I went to jail, and then it comes back and fills in the blanks. It's really well done.
Yeah.
So, but I see the idea is the content of it is that you want to be a famous broadcaster.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. So yeah, the
Well,
way
you
I
say that.
Yeah, I do say that once in the episode, in a couple of the episodes. But yeah, my main goal is when I say being famous, I don't mean like I need to have a bunch of Instagram followers or anything, but I just want to make a living on what I feel that like my talent is and what I always wanted to do. And I structure the show in a way it's my story. So it's not like, so I have a lot of different topics I'll talk about, like lifestyle design, overcoming things that get in the way of your dreams or that hold you back. But that's kind of dry. So I structure it as like my story. And then if it's not about me, I'll talk about someone else who I talk about Robert Downey Jr. and all his alcohol problems and things that, his career was on life support and then he turned it around. So I try to like make it interesting. So if nothing else, even if you don't care about this stuff, it's an interesting listen. And yes, I talk about the one time I went to jail as well. That was the first episode.
Are you doing this as like some sort of therapy for yourself?
It kind of sounds like that sometimes. It sounds like a group therapy session.
Is it really that? Are you getting this all out of your system so that you can have told your story and then move on to something?
I don't know.
Or is the story...
Maybe subconsciously, that is. I don't know. Ask me in a couple of years. That might have been what I was trying to do. I don't know. I don't know what's motivating me to do it that way.
Well, what's the deal? Are people listening to it? Are you getting feedback?
Brand new. Yeah, it's off to a good start. It's actually a rebranding of a show that I launched a couple years ago that I just didn't like the way I was producing it. So, it's off to a good start. Not a huge audience yet, but we'll get there.
Okay. And the other show, you've got a couple of shows up on dreamstermedia.com.
Yeah.
And one of them is a game show.
Yes.
What the heck is all that about? I didn't manage to get that to work.
You didn't?
No, I clicked on it and
it
just came up all
Heads are gonna
weird.
roll. It's a podcast game show is the name of that one, and it's a trivia show. It's like an audio version of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. So if you like trivia, I have guests on, and I ask them a bunch of questions.
You were on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
I was a contestant on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. That's a central part
Is
of
this tied to the time you were in jail or unrelated?
That is about a year apart. Yeah, it was an interesting
Enough
year.
of a connection.
Yeah.
Who was your friend that you phoned?
They didn't do that when I was on the show. They got rid of that.
Wow.
It was ask the audience 50-50, so you get rid of two of the answers, and then skip the question for the lifelines. So
Has anyone ever skipped the $1 million question?
You're not allowed to do that, I don't think.
You can't do that?
No, I don't think so.
How much did you go home with?
I'm not going to tell you. You're going to have to listen to season 1 of my show because I
It's a
kind of come
teaser.
back to that episode in the end. It's not what you would think happened.
$0.
No, I came back with more than $0.
So we're going to have to listen to the whole thing?
You're going to have to listen to the whole season 1. It's only 12 episodes.
Okay, but so we won't know till the end of the 12th episode how much. So you got this whole thing planned out. Have we ever planned out anything on the show? Nothing.
No.
We've never planned out a single.
That's
We
the
have some
premise of
printouts
the show.
here.
Yeah,
That's-
I've got
that's
this.
planning.
This is
Our
professional.
producer, Graham DePonte, and
Yeah.
our music producer,
There's even
Monique
bold
Pyle,
text.
sends me
That's
these
great.
things. Yeah, so this is our, and then I go through them and I underline things. See? I
You're
underline
taking notes?
Dreamster Media,
Boom.
and then I
What'd
put
you write
up
down there in the corner? What's that?
Clint Duhon. It's the name of the
You
dog.
need to check out his Spotify.
Wow, yeah.
He's on iTunes, I heard.
The
I'm
dog
going
has
to
an
save his
Instagram.
songs for another podcast.
Hey, talking of Duhon, what about playing a song, Andrew? We've missed you for a month or so.
Yeah, I can play you one.
Have you got anything lined up?
Sure. Talk amongst yourselves. We'll go grab
Okay.
the Git fiddle.
What would you like to talk about until?
OPP?
That's where I know you're from.
No, he'd still be in there.
Can I just dispel? I got arrested for a DUI, but I was never got convicted of it. That was it. It wasn't.
Amen.
I didn't
Amen.
murder anyone or anything
Good
like
job.
that. And this was in
Congrats.
Florida.
You got
This was in
oh,
Jacksonville,
Okay,
Florida,
okay, cool.
which is probably I don't know. It's probably not worse than OPP, but it wasn't good.
Definitely.
But you were actually in jail.
Oh yeah, for a weekend. That was it.
A
But,
weekend?
Yeah,
That's pretty
but
long.
They put the whole
That can feel
inmate
like a-
uniform. You have a number. It was a nightmare for a weekend.
Yeah, that can feel like a long time. Who bailed you? Who bailed you out?
It was my dad.
Oh,
God, how embarrassing!
He kept hanging up on the bail bondsman. He thought it was a telemarketer.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah.
You ever heard of a song called "Hi Dad, I'm in Jail"?
No.
It's an awesome song by a band called Was Not Was. C-Rock can find it for us.
Don Was.
Yeah, Don Was and his brother David Was have a band called Was Not Was, and they do this awesome song. Here's Graham DePonte right now. Do a great song called "Hey Dad, I'm in Jail."
See if I can.
hey, Dad, I'm in jail.
Oh, okay. So the Cajun guys are conferring.
All right. Yeah.
Here.
Yep, you sure?
Absolutely.
Are you good?
Oh, yeah.
Are you playing along?
I'm making him change the key for me.
Okay, cool. All right.
He's graciously doing it.
This is great. Okay, what song are we listening to, Andrew? Brent,
Oh
something
man,
new?
you know, trying in the efforts of always playing you something new. Here's
Yes.
something that's not finished.
Okay. Does it even have a title?
Ask me when I finish it, I guess. I don't
Okay.
know.
Louis, what's the insurance like on getting my eye poked out with that? Bug?
I've never done it so far.
Okay. All right.
Amazingly.
Okay, I think it goes like this. Ain't no two ways around it. Everybody choose a side. You get yours, but not before I get mine. You get yours, not before I get mine. Stick to the facts and back up what you already know. Stick to the facts that back up what you already. The facts that back up what you already. Stick to the side of the tracks that back up to your childhood home. Hold on, stop, somebody's bleeding. Follow the drip drop, somebody's bleeding. Hold on, stop, somebody's bleeding. Hold on, stop, yeah, somebody's bleeding. Follow the drip drop, somebody's bleeding. Hold on, stop, who can't stop the bleeding? Everybody choose a side. Only way to survive. You get yours, not before I get mine. Hold on, stop, somebody's bleeding. Follow the drip drop, somebody's bleeding. Hold on, stop, somebody's bleeding. Hold on, stop, oh, somebody's bleeding. Follow the drip drop, somebody's bleeding. Who can't stop? 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 Who can't stop bleeding? Ain't no two ways around it. Everybody choosing sides. You get yours, not before I get mine.
Okay. Andrew
Thanks,
Doo
dude.
Yong and Louis Michot together for the very first time. Totally unrehearsed. How do you like that, Brandon?
That was amazing.
What do you think, Lizzie?
I loved it. Good job, y'all.
You
hey,
guys
no
had this
chicken
time.
wing. That's great.
Were you watching the technique there?
Oh, I kind of get my eye on it.
All right.
Wonderful song.
That's a nice song.
Oh, thanks. You know, just little bits and pieces. You know.
Did you write that on the road?
Patchwork. Yeah. You know, like it's like paper mache. You just like take the scraps that come one at a time, and then you put them together.
So how did you like being out on the road for the last month? Was it good to get the hell out of here? Or
It's all you miss it after you give yourself time to miss it.
Right.
You know, both of them, the road and being home.
Yeah.
know?
Hence the hiatus.
That's right. Yeah, you
That's
got
why you wanted to just spend some time at home.
That's like all these artists, they do, they like put out an album and then they stop touring for a while. We don't, most Louisiana bands just play constantly. That was a nice song though. I like the drip because it's like the blood drip and the IV drip,
Nice, dude. Thanks. Yeah.
It's cool that you can never have heard that, or no one's heard that song probably.
Right.
What does it do? Do you just listening? What are you listening for, Louis, when you're playing along with something like that?
Well, first you got to make sure you're in the right key, and then you know, first, you got to make. I was getting too into it and I missed some chords. So, but you know, you got to stay like partially, like aware and then partially into it.
In it, right? Lizzie, how did you end up making films?
I was either this or medical school. I mean, I'm to be completely honest.
Really? That was your
Catholic.
Cajun Catholic.
Why didn't you
You're
go?
right.
Why didn't you go to medical school? That would have been a really excellent idea.
Because she's not Cajun
Because I
Catholic.
like the show House so
'Cause you
much,
pop-
which kind of told me
Yeah.
I'm probably getting the wrong idea of the medical, side of things, and also I'm so obsessed with the TV show that I'm letting it make my life choices. So I was like, maybe I'll just go into film. And my mom was like, hon, you're always watching the second DVD. You should go to film school. This is verbatim. Mom, you said this. Remember that? And that's
What did she
why.
mean by the second DVD?
Like the one with all the special features,
Right.
and, like behind the scenes
Commentary.
So you were obsessed with the TV show House. So you could either
It's a
have
long
gone
time
into
ago.
TV shows or medicine.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
There's a lot more to it too, but that's the podcast version.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the real version?
The real version is I didn't want to do anything boring, and film was the first thing I tried, and it really stuck. And
Right.
I was lucky enough
You
to
have
pick
to.
something I really liked. I don't know. I didn't really do film growing up. It's just something I went to college for, and it really I met the right people.
Where did you go to college?
I went to the University of New Orleans. They have an awesome.
So you went to the film school at UNO.
Yeah.
So you're actually someone who went to film school and became a filmmaker.
It happens so rarely.
Yeah.
But yeah, it happened.
That is cool.
Yeah, I met my whole team there. I think that was really the
Wow.
reason I stayed
Really?
in it. So all my people.
So you're like a whole bunch of people who've like formed a band in college and then went on and did it.
Yeah. And
And
we're
you're
just
still
trying to
doing
tour
it.
the world. That's just
That
what we're
is-
trying to do.
That is pretty cool. So what sort
Yeah.
of stuff do you make at this Worklight Pictures?
So we started out making commercials to make the money, and then short films on the weekends whenever we had the extra income. But after about 5 years of Worklight being a thing, we've now been able to start doing feature films, which is what we want to do. Our first feature film will actually be on Va Continue with the Ramblers, bless them, and
And you directed that?
I produced it. I'm a producer.
Okay,
Kind
so-
of director of sorts, but
So who's directing that? Someone else?
Bruno Doria, who's like my other half.
Okay.
He does all the visuals, so he's the cinematographer.
Okay.
And,
So you're the
directing.
business person?
I'm more the business side.
Ah.
Yeah, but I get to get creative every now and then.
She makes everything happen.
Maybe that's the
Make
manager.
sure it happens,
Maybe
too.
you'd be looking for a manager.
Oh man, I couldn't do better than
Or you
y'all.
don't want to. You don't-
So you put the whole deal together. So you found the money to make this.
Yeah, we.
How
yeah.
did you do that, actually?
Well, it actually well, we started doing it for free. We started shooting with them in 2016 was when we met, and they kind of just started from there. We liked them, they liked us, so we started following them around. So we weren't really filming a documentary until it was already filmed in a weird way.
Yeah,
then we got
that's
a grant.
actually super weird.
Yeah.
People are just following you around with cameras and they're not actually making a documentary.
We do like to do things backwards. And then we got film funding through a grant, the Crete, Louisiana grant, which kind of kickstarted, like, oh, now we have money, we can actually finish the thing. And then we did a Kickstarter to kind of round off the rest of the funding. And here we are.
What does it cost to make
Let's
something
release
like this?
it. Oh, I can't tell you that.
That's not public
It's
information in the
obscene.
budget? Is it,
Hundreds of millions of
is
dollars.
it,
Hundreds
is
of
it a lot cheaper than you
millions.
think? Or is it a lot more expensive than you think?
Well, we did a lot of things for free. It probably shouldn't have cost what it cost, but we have a really small, dedicated team. Me, Bruno, and one other guy, Lee, really doing a lot of the footwork. And then the Ramblers just being cool enough to really let us come with them.
Well, they're not going to charge you, are they?
Sometimes they do. No, most
What?
of the time.
Are you
Don't tell
serious?
them that, but I'm just kidding.
Is that a fact? When you see a documentary on something like...
Yeah, you could hire
They
someone
have
to let
to
you.
pay to get in the door to our shows. No,
We do have to buy drinks every now and then, so we paid our dues.
Well, that's interesting. I didn't realize that those documentaries about bands that you see on Netflix and so on, that the band...
Sometimes they'll be paid. Yeah.
Huh. Did you guys know
Right,
that?
I'm sorry, what happened?
Yeah.
What?
That's perhaps a bit
No,
of-
okay, well, they
This is a passion project.
Yeah, well, they made our own first and only music video. Worklight Pictures did
Okay.
for a song called Aloha Golden Meadow, and we had to go through the OPP lawsuit for a little bit. And
What?
And it didn't have to do with OPP. I was just joking, but we did have to go through a suit, and it was,
Somebody sued you guys?
Yeah, well, I can't talk about it, but it's all right.
Legally, or you don't want to talk about it?
No, it's fine.
The lawyers say, who sued you?
No, it's someone that was in the band,
one of those things. It was all their idea.
Yes,
right.
Exactly. They started the band, founded it, me and Andre were nowhere to be found, and then next thing you know,
everybody's got one.
So we made this song called Aloha Gold Meadow. Andre wrote it. Kind of as like a stress relief. It was like this real relaxing beach song about being at the beach at Golden Meadow, which if coastal erosion continues, it will be a beach. Right. And so it's a double message. It's relax and watch out for global warming. Mm-hmm. And they made the video, which came out amazing, our only music video. Huh. And we met, got along, and then, they started following us around, filming. They even came to New York with us for the Grammys. And
so you got that all on film, the Grammys all in the documentary.
It's a lot. Yeah, we did go to the Grammys. We couldn't go in, and we can't use the footage from the Grammys. But you know what? We made our own way. As the Cajuns do, we kind of made a DIY version.
That is pretty funny. They won't let you use the footage of you winning a Grammy.
It's just really expensive. We tried.
Speaking of expensive, exactly.
They make you have to get clearance.
Yeah, exactly.
Can I tell them how we recreated
My lawyer's here. I should probably be really careful. If that's the film's lawyer over there.
This is our lawyer.
I never got to meet you.
Hey.
So can I tell them how we reenacted the Grammys?
You faked up a Grammy
dramatization.
No, don't tell them.
Okay.
You have to come see the movie.
Yes, thank you. It's great though. It's great how we did it.
It's so perfect.
Marie Antoinette was involved.
Yes.
And
disco balls. Just
taking
imagine.
shots out of Grammys.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Beautiful women everywhere.
What happens if you?
Way better than the real Grammys.
With heads still on.
What has Scarlett Johansson, talking of Marie Antoinette, got to do with you guys?
She
how did you know her?
She did her Tom Waits cover album at Dockside Studios, where we record most of our albums. And our producer Corey Ritchie happened to be the house engineer. Spent a lot of time with her and her husband at the time. And when we went to make Mammoth Waltz, Corey Ritchie produced it. And we said, man, it'd be great to have a female voice on this song. And to reach out to Scarlett. She speaks French. She was all into it.
No way.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And
so she's single again now, Scarlett Johansson? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know.
Brandon, are you paying attention?
Yeah.
I'm listening. Yeah.
What's your situation? Are you married, single?
I am not. I am single.
You're single?
I'm single.
Were you ever married?
No, I was not.
Okay.
Not even in
not in jail
for one night?
Well, we don't like to talk about that.
That is bad. Okay. We've got to keep moving right along here. So, Louis, what about another song? We can fit it in.
All right, but Andrew's
playing with you? Okay.
I'll try, dude. What you got?
Yeah.
All right. So let's do something in let's do the Rookie Pond, which is the song for our camp in Milton, and let's just do it in G and D. Mm-hmm. But okay, I see you're tuned down. Okay, so it's about right next to Dockside Studios. We have our camp, which is how we recorded our first album at our camp called La Rookie Pond, and then we came to find out that Dockside Studios is right across the Vermilion from the camp, and we started making records there, and it makes called the Vermilion Vortex. Is on the Vermilion. There's like Wowie's bar up the road, and this song is about all that. So.
Allons à la qui pombe pour manger la bancarde. Et ma chère petite fille, allez la coche sous la tête. Allez la prémestérée, parti pour m'en aller. Mais pour la voir, et là-bas dans le grand horizon. c'est mon donc pour Bayou, oh du Bayou Vermillon. Chaque fois qu'on passe devant la porte de la rue qui pend. Non d'avait plus joué avec son spliff au bec qui rit.
Awesome. Louis Michot and Andrew Duhon together for the second time.
That's right.
That was great. What do you call that song again?
Allons à la rue qui pend. Rue qui pend is the hanging wheel. This old camp my grandpa had bought with a bunch of Cajun Catholic priests back in the day. And then
Your grandpa bought a camp with a bunch of Cajun Catholic priests.
don't get any ideas, but yeah, and it became a retreat for this one called Monsignor Mouton. Excuse me, not Monsignor Mouton, Monsignor Seguier, and then he kind of had his Walden. You know, it's beautiful. It's out in the nature. It's in the corner of Lafayette Parish, and then we ended up leasing it from his family for a long time, and then I
From
lived
whose family? From the
from the
Monsignor,
Monsignors.
wasn't it?
Yeah, his relatives inherited it after. Anyway,
Okay.
and then so we leased it for them, and I lived there for a little while before I built my house.
Did it have spirits and ghosts in it?
Yeah, actually, yeah.
What kind of spirits were they?
Well, I've heard of people who have seen. I haven't myself, but a few people I know have seen spirits that might look like people that used to live there. And then right next door was a guy named Sidney Bork, who was on the first cover of our album.
Right.
And his daughter Ethel May.
Right.
So whenever we put the first album out, we met his daughter Ethel May, who's in the documentary, and just amazing people. Mr. Sidney, he hunted, fished, and farmed for all his food and everything, and barely had a dime or a social security number, but lived an amazing, amazing connected life. And we knew him as children. Didn't speak a word of English. And his wife would make beignets and a little real thick coffee. And met his daughter Ethel years later after he had died, and she became a very close friend. So it's a real interesting little area. And then we found out Dockside Studios is right, like you can see it. We never even knew you can see it across the bayou.
You didn't even know it was a
And we
recording
didn't even know it was a studio. We were sitting there trying to make our own albums in there. And
Wow.
yeah, so that song is about the Rue qui pend, but it's based off of another Nathan Abshire song called Allons à la Côte Tortue, which is another camp where he used to go moss collecting. So
Wow.
Yes.
So, Brandon, are you thinking about reconnecting with your Cajun past now?
Yeah, I need to do it more. I try, but everything that you just said is just like the magical part about
That's what I mean.
Cajun life.
Why
and
would you walk
my
away
family.
from that?
I'm not walking away. I didn't choose to. It's just.
I thought you did choose to.
No. Oh well, I guess I changed the spelling of my name, but.
But are you connected in any way to? Well, I mean, this is like magical to hear.
It
the
is.
story.
It is. It's awesome.
all you gotta do is talk to the whole. I mean, you talk to the elders, and then they.
Oh, yeah.
just, exactly.
I go back there, visit family as often as I can. It's
Where,
awesome.
where is your family living?
St Martinville.
So they're still there. So you're the only one who got out.
My extended family. Yeah.
And what
They're
about your parents? Did they move here as well, or are they still?
Yeah, they got married here, and that's why I grew up here.
Okay.
But then they live in one's in Pensacola, one's in my parents' dad's in Asheville, North Carolina. So all
you've
over.
got-
We're all
you've
over the
got
country.
one. Your mom lives in Pensacola,
Mhm.
and your dad's in Asheville, North
Do you know if
That's
Beeyard
handy.
is is it French Creole probably? Because St. Martinville, they used to call it Petit Paris.
Oh, really?
Because-
St. Martinville of all places.
Because after it's got a huge Acadian of the Evangeline connect, the Evangeline
Yeah.
Oak. That's where she apparently, Evangeline ended up Longfellow's Evangeline, and she turned into a tree while she was waiting for her lover who never came. And well, by the time he got there, it's kind of like Romeo and Juliet.
This was allegedly happened in St Martinville.
Well, she came from Acadie during the deportation and ended up in St Martinville, where Gabriel came to find her. But he couldn't find her, and then met another lover, and then she died waiting for him, and he finally found her, something like that. And but St Martinville was called Petit Paris because after the French Revolution, so many of these very wealthy French aristocratic who were scared of Robespierre cutting their head off came to St. Martinville, brought all their fancy court dresses and everything. They had like an opera house and everything in St. Martinville. They called it Petit Paris because a lot of those people relocated to St. Martinville.
What happened to those people and to all their wealth that they must have brought with them? Did they start businesses, or did they just spend it all, and when it was all gone, they were Cajun fishermen?
Who knows? I mean, Civil War probably took it all.
Yeah. And what happened to there was an opera house in St. Martinville. Is that still there?
I believe it's. I'm not sure what condition it's in, but there's a lot of amazing architecture in St. Martinville.
I didn't even know that. Have you been? Do you go there? You've been?
Yeah.
So you know all about this too.
I was there about a year ago. Yeah, I do know. I've heard that Petit Paris before.
Yeah, there's like a little cafe Petit Paris there and all that. But they make brioche and stuff, which is like bread with some butter and sugar on it or something.
Why is it called St. Martinville, and why don't we say it with some sort of French?
Well, St. Martin de Tours is the church there, and then he was a very important saint, I guess.
Do you know who he was?
I should have a better answer.
I'm bad Cajun.
St. Martin de Tours is pretty heavy, I'm pretty sure.
Brandon, what did you do before you became a media superstar?
I
potential media
lived. I had a boring career in finance and then commercial real estate.
Okay, so have you made a whole bunch of money, and now you can afford to finance your own?
I wouldn't say that.
Superstardom?
No, I had not made a bunch of money at all. This is all flying by the seat of my pants, so we'll see what happens.
So how are you financing Superstardom? Because this is not cheap. What you use this slick sounding?
It's a little cheap, yeah.
Okay,
it's cheap now.
It sounds expensive.
Yeah, I need to spend some more money on it probably. I got some savings.
It sounds pretty slick. You know? How are you financing the whole thing though?
Just savings.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But have you got a business plan?
No.
You have a day
it's
job?
all in my head.
Well, I'm not saying if you got it written down. I mean, do you have a plan to make money out of this?
Not yet. The plan is grow an audience, and then there's different ways to monetize it, as I'm sure you know. So I just got to figure out the best ways to do it.
Yeah. Right. Well, you don't have a plan, though. You're just going to try and get a whole bunch of people to listen to this thing and then figure it out.
Yes.
Because that's what we're doing.
I was about to say, he's looking for a plan.
Yeah,
Wondering if you got
Step 1, build an audience. Step 3, profit.
Yeah.
I don't know about step 2.
Step 2's got the sort of missing link there.
Steal underpants.
Yeah.
Step 2 is wait for someone to notice what you're doing and then be like, hey, we need you over here. And I mean, that's how us musicians got to survive, is just diversity. You know, you can't just like rely on one thing.
I mean, generally,
that's a good point.
Our thing is to promote skincare products on our Instagram in exchange for free skincare products. That's usually what we do.
Yeah. What about marrying Scarlett Johansson?
That's plan C. Yeah, yeah.
Step 4.
She's single and available.
Step 4. I hear that, and I'm sure someone.
I don't know that.
She's not single, Jay.
No, she's
well,
got
as far as we know, C-Rock knows
Not
it.
single. She's dating the guy from SNL who does Weekend Update.
Damn it!
Exactly.
Colin something.
Good
Colin
call.
Jost.
Okay.
You
Didn't
got
you
more
used
of him.
didn't you used to work in television? Did you work for
I
David
did. I
Letterman?
worked for David Letterman in college. Yeah, it was amazing. No.
Okay, so how could you not use that to get into media superstardom? Why are you now podcasting like us?
It was awesome, but I didn't want to live in New York after that. I thought I would. I thought it was my dream. But
I thought you would too, seeing you want to be a media superstar.
Yeah,
That's where they
New
all
Orleans
live.
the realities of media in 2006 were not great, and someone has to die at the Late Show for someone to actually get a job there. So
What were you doing? You were an intern?
I was an intern, yeah, but I got to meet all the guests. I got to meet all the celebrities every day.
That's pretty
so that
cool.
was,
Who did you meet?
let's see, Tom Cruise, Lance Armstrong, not Scarlett Johansson, Fergie, Jessica Simpson back in the day when she was at like the height of her fame. It was awesome. Tom Cruise was the nicest person ever.
And what do you have to do with them? You have to make them feel comfortable and hang out with them?
I have to get whatever they want. I have to go to the store and get all their assorted things that they want for their room.
People come to a show like that, like Tom Cruise, and need stuff from the store. Mm-hmm. Like what?
Oh, yeah.
Cigarettes?
I think Jessica Simpson needed assorted gums.
Assorted
gums.
The writer, dude.
Yeah.
How's your writer?
Don't have one.
Yeah, the writer. It's the writer. And give him the swag bag,
interesting.
Late Show mug and stuff.
Didn't you think you'd have that organized if you were a superstar? Yeah, this is good stuff for you to know now you're going to be a superstar.
That's the part of being a superstar, that you get to
I can't wait.
You
You
get
get to
whatever.
just think
No
of it on
green
the
M&Ms,
moment.
whatever.
Oh, won't that be nice?
It sure
Lizzie.
will.
It's gonna be
It
great.
will.
Are you
One
looking
day.
for superstardom, Lizzie? Are you looking
I
to
want
win an
assorted
Academy
gums
Award?
brought to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
And a
What sort of
free
gums do you
Italian
like?
watch.
What's your favorite flavor?
I mean, I
Juicy
feel like
fruit?
they should know.
You
You,
get-
know what I mean? Like, I shouldn't have to tell them what my 3 favorite gums are.
You
Really?
get assorted
Okay.
gums so that you can take like 2 chews of each and then throw them on the ground and get
Exactly.
another one.
Ah,
You know?
nice. That's how you know
Trying
you've
to
really
flavor.
made it.
That's right.
When you can
Or
be on
so
the
I
David
can
Letterman
seem
show.
like a good friend that'll be like, hey, anybody want gum?
Uh-huh.
You know, I'll be that friend. Your brother did that. Andre did that for me. And I was like, that's a very specific type of person who's like, hey, anybody in the room want gum?
Well,
That's
he's
like-
nice.
That's
Yeah.
a really,
That's a
truly
nice
nice
guy.
thing to do.
Yeah.
Other than what would you normally do? You would, because
Just
inside,
take a piece of
hoard your
gum and
gum.
chew
'Cause-
it.
'cause
And
you're
like chew
in-
it discreetly so no one knows
right?
I have
Because
gum.
internally you're really a bitch, and you wouldn't.
Exactly.
You wouldn't want to
That's
share the
the
gum.
perfect explanation
Right there.
of my personality.
Right, that's it. Hey, listen, Happy Hours today have been brought to us by Basics on Magazine Street near Jefferson Avenue, where you can get fine lingerie and swim and gym wear, a full range of fashion swimsuits with workout and yoga clothes with style. And Hangover Destroyer also are the only all-natural products medically proven to prevent a hangover. If you go to hdestroyer.com, that's a website, and you write Happy Hour in the coupon code, you'll get 30% off of Hangover Destroyer, and you too can seize the dawn. And thank you also to the Positive Vibrations Foundation, who create and encourage community through the development and preservation of the arts, music, culture, and heritage, some of which we actually did accomplish today here on Happy Hour. If you'd like to be a member of our Patreon family, go to patreon.com and search for It's New Orleans Happy Hour. And for as little as $1 a month, that's how we're making $12 a month.
Hell yes.
You can be a member of our Patreon family, Brandon, so you could do the Patreon.
Yeah.
C-Rock is in charge of our 13. C-Rock and Asher we're up to $13 a month now. So I don't know whether that pays for much gum, but
14. I'll give you a 4.
you can sign up for another
All
$1.
right, all right.
See, the thing we're making a mistake here is it's as little as $1 a month.
Oh.
But you can give it a lot more than that if you like to be a subscriber at $100 a month. So I'm not suggesting you do that, Brandon, but this could be a business model.
I love it. Do it.
Okay. All right. Well, Brandon Beeyard, spelt Beeyard, but actually spelt Bulliard.
Correct.
Thanks for being here. We'll put a link to your stuff on our website. It's dreamstermedia.com.
Yep. Thank
And if
you.
you really make it big, just remember us, okay?
I will. I'll try. I'll try. I'll try. It's
And
been a
Liz-
pleasure.
Okay, it's been great to have you. It was great to meet you. Lizzie Guitreau, thank you for being here as well.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Your movie, On Va Continue, is at the Britannia Theatre on Sunday, the 17th of February.
I have a question.
So we need to
if
get
we
tickets.
can't make it that day, what's our next chance? Or do we have a
So
chance?
it's playing twice at the festival, again on Tuesday the 19th, or it'll be available at many more festivals in New Orleans and hopefully across the world
Great.
in 2019.
Okay.
And eventually maybe on Netflix. Who
I
knows?
think it's technically around the world because it's round.
Around the world,
Across-
oblong the world.
Oh,
Across
okay.
the flat world.
And it's called On
The
Va
world.
Continue. But in the meantime, we could make an effort. Can't you get there on the 17th?
I can't. I'm out of town.
Where are you going to be?
I'll be in Utah.
Oh, nice.
Well, you know what? I'll take my phone into the theater
That's a thing.
and record it
That's a
and
thing.
send it to you
I
because
will
I'm sure
turn
that's
a
legal.
blind eye.
Because after all,
Just
they
FaceTime me.
I'll FaceTime you.
And then just-
Okay, put the whole thing on.
Yeah.
Okay. And the star, of course, of the movie On Va Continue is Louis Michot, along with the rest of his band, the Lost Bayou Ramblers. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank
It's
you
been
so
great
much
to
for
meet you.
having
Thanks
me.
for coming
It's
on
been
down.
fun. I got to play with Andrew for the first
Yeah.
time.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
And second time.
and hear Beeyard's story.
Yeah. And Guitreau.
Yeah, and Guitreau learned.
We
Learned
found
probably
it.
way too much.
Yeah. Wonder if I could be. Is there any way I could become a Cajun for the next show? Next time we do this.
Yeah, they make these honorary
Can you do it?
Cajun mugs and certificates and stuff.
Where would I get one
Come
of
to
those?
Black Pot Camp. That's where
That's
you
where
get
you
Cajun.
get
Yeah, that's
your
where you learn how to be
Cajun.
Cajun's black
Okay.
pot.
Yeah, man.
All right, let's do
You
it.
go to
When
the
is
camp and you come out Cajun.
That's
It's
it.
amazing.
It's
I feel
that
like you
sim-
have to eat something as initiation, like a
A live
raccoon
frog.
or a live frog.
Live frog.
Oh, so I'm not actually a Cajun then. Damn it.
Have you ever? How many live frogs have you eaten? Well,
I've
you
eaten
don't need
plenty
to
of
because
fried ones, but not a
you've
not a
eaten
live
fried
one.
frogs.
Frog legs.
I don't like the idea of that at all.
They're not good.
Oh, they're so good.
Really?
Yeah, great.
This
like
is
chicken.
where we.
Yeah, man.
Great.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't have to be like chicken to be good. Like that doesn't qualify something as good food. Oh, it
Next
tastes
time
like
when
chicken.
it's Doo Hon.
Right.
Monsieur Beeyard, have you ever tried frog's legs?
Oh, every Christmas.
Are you
Yeah.
serious? That's a
No.
Christmas delicacy
I
at the
have-
Beeyard.
I have not had that pleasure. I guess I need to go do that.
You need to get Cajun.
They're everywhere.
Get your frog's legs.
I'm a bad Cajun. I know.
They're everywhere, especially wherever you find frogs. Find frogs.
Yeah, frog hunting.
Okay,
first.
joke's over. Thank you very much to our producer, Graham DePonte, our associate producer, April Love Stolf, our music producers, Christian Unruh and Monique Pyle, Our technical director is Thomas Walsh, and our show is engineered today by Colin Peden, our Facebook live feed director who put this whole thing on Facebook. And if you're listening to this as a podcast, you can see the whole thing on our It's New Orleans Facebook page. That was all done by Asher Griffith. Our fact check and social media connector is Andrew Searock. Searock, our theme music was written by and is currently being played by Mitch Foreman. If you'd like to be on our show and you can stay upright while drinking alcohol for about 60 minutes, drop us a line. Our address is on our website, itsneworleans.com, where you can find many other hours we made here that are just as happy previous to this show, along with some other shows we make around here, including Out to Lunch with Peter Raschuti, live from Commander's Palace, Louisiana Eats with Poppy Tooker, and our award-winning podcast about death called Death the Podcast. You can also find other great Louisiana podcasts at itsacadiana.com and it's batonrouge.la. You can keep up with us on a bunch of time-sucking social media like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and all of it we're called It's New Orleans. And you can find photos from this show on itsneworleans.com and on our It's New Orleans Facebook page and on our Instagram feed as well. All these photos were taken today by Jill Lafleur, also Cajun. You can find more of Jill's photos at lafleurphoto.com. If you're listening to this on your favorite podcast app, thank you for subscribing to us. Take a moment, if you've got one, to rate and review us. That helps other people find us. If you're listening to us on Spotify, you can follow us and get Happy Hour delivered to you each week. Our show was recorded live today at Wayfare on Ferret Street, Uptown New Orleans. Happy Hour is a production of INO Broadcasting for itsneworleans.com. For Andrew Duhon, everyone around, or Doo Yong, sorry, everyone else around the table here at Wayfare and back at our office at INO Broadcasting, thank you so much for joining us. I'm Grant Morris. We'll see you back here next week for more Happy Hour.
Your home is important. That's why Geico helps make it easy to save on condo insurance. Because home is more than just a place. Home is where you took minimalism too far because there's only one chair in your entire condo and your only entertainment is one card. Not even a deck of cards, but a single card. And all your guests have to share one plate and one fork, but you're convinced that less stuff means more freedom. The Geico Insurance Agency could help protect the overly minimalist broom closet you call home. Call Geico and see how easy it is to switch and save on condo insurance.